High Counselor Zephyran had witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations across 3 millennia, but nothing had prepared him for the message that arrived at the Galactic Conclave that morning. His ancient hands trembled as he read the transmission from the Outer Rim monitoring station. "They're back," he whispered to the emergency assembly. "After 10,000 years of silence, humanity has returned to the galaxy." The younger council members exchanged confused glances, but the elders, those few who remembered the old warnings, felt their life essences drain in terror. The oldest among them, Matriarch Velthera, spoke in a voice heavy with dread. "Impossible. We made certain they could never leave their world. The quarantine barriers, the gravitational locks, the space-time distortions, all designed to keep them contained." Counselor Kethmore, barely 3 centuries old, raised a questioning appendage. "Forgive my ignorance, but what makes humans so dangerous? Our records from that era are fragmentary." The elders exchanged haunted looks. Velthera activated the secured archives, displaying files that had been sealed since the Great Containment. Images filled the chamber. Worlds stripped of resources in decades rather than millennia. Species driven to extinction not through malice but through humanity's relentless expansion. Entire stellar regions transformed beyond recognition. "Humans don't conquer," Zephyran explained, his voice hollow. "They don't destroy out of hatred or greed. They simply grow. They adapt. They spread. And wherever they go, everything changes." The historical records painted a picture that defied comprehension. In less than 2,000 years, humanity had spread across half the galaxy, not through military conquest but through an inexorable tide of exploration, colonization, and transformation. They turned barren worlds into gardens, hostile environments into thriving colonies, and impossible challenges into stepping stones. "They never meant to threaten us," continued Velthera. "That was the most terrifying part. They were genuinely friendly, eager to share knowledge and resources. But their very existence rewrote the fundamental rules of galactic civilization." The archives showed economic models, population projections, and resource allocation charts that told the same story. Wherever humans established themselves, they didn't just survive, they thrived beyond all mathematical possibilities, consuming resources at rates that should have been unsustainable while somehow creating abundance. "The other species began to panic," Zephyran recalled. "Not because humans were hostile, but because they made everyone else obsolete. Human colonies outproduced established worlds. Human innovations solved problems that had stumped us for millennia. Human adaptability made our specialized evolutionary advantages seem primitive." A new transmission interrupted the historical briefing. The voice was unmistakably human, warm, curious, and cheerfully oblivious to the terror it was causing across the galaxy. "Hello, galactic neighbors. This is Admiral Chun of the United Earth Expeditionary Fleet. We know it's been a while since we've been in touch. Had some technical difficulties with our faster-than-light travel that took a few millennia to sort out. But we're back now, and we're excited to reconnect with old friends and make new ones." The transmission continued with typical human enthusiasm. "We've spent the last 10,000 years developing new technologies, exploring our local stellar region, and working on some exciting terraforming projects. We've got so much to share. We're transmitting coordinates for peaceful first contact protocols, and can't wait to catch up on everything we've missed." Counselor Kethmore stared at the data streaming in from human ships. "These energy signatures, they're using technologies that shouldn't exist. Their vessels are traversing space-time barriers like they're not even there." "Of course they are," Velthera said with resigned certainty. "We built those barriers to contain them. Did we really think they'd spend 10,000 years doing anything other than figuring out how to bypass them?" The monitoring stations reported dozens of human vessels emerging throughout the galaxy, each one broadcasting the same friendly greetings while casually demonstrating capabilities that made the greatest achievements of elder civilization look like children's toys. "What do we do?" asked Kethmore. Zephyran studied the readings showing human ships appearing in regions that should have been impossible to reach, carrying populations that defied demographic projections, wielding technologies that violated accepted physical laws. We do what we should have done 10,000 years ago, he said with weary acceptance. We welcome them back and hope they're still as friendly as they sound, because containment failed, and if humanity has returned. He paused, watching a human ship casually navigate through a stellar phenomena that had destroyed survey fleets for millennia. Then the galaxy is about to change again, and this time, there's nowhere to hide.